Hello, welcome into Talkin Ball, brought to you by Infotainment Sports. Ben and Marcus here today, gearing up for week one of the NFL season. Just reviewed week one of the college season. Really excited just to get in here and talk ball today. We're splitting our whole podcast up into quarters, so we're going to start with the first quarter, get all the way through the fourth quarter, and then that'll be it for the show. So first quarter, we're going to jump off right with the AFC division. Looks like AFC East first. Bills still kings. They still gonna take it this year?
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to bet against the Bills this year. The MVP and Josh Allen, which is obviously a little bit controversial. Some say Lamar should have had his third in a row, but it is what it is. Yeah, I've got the Bills winning it. I've got the Patriots finishing second in the division. I think they're going to be a very tough out for a lot of teams. I would bet that they're probably around 7 to 9 wins, somewhere in that window. Mm-hmm. And then third in the division, I actually have the Jets,
Wow.
Jets. Yeah. I'm really, really, really low on the Dolphins this year. I just think this is when it all kind of comes crashing down officially for them. I know, Tyreek was not named captain for the first time in his Miami Dolphins career, his antics in the offseason, and I just think the locker room is a little bit busted, and all of the trades they made, getting rid of Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, I know they brought back Minkah Fitzpatrick, but I just think that defense is going to be in a tough spot, and I really just think the Dolphins are going to be pretty bad this year. Mike McDaniel's is going to get fired. The Jets, another thing with the Jets too, I think the Jets are going to be a tough out. I think they're going to play some really tough and salty ball this year. I think their run game is going to be nasty with Fields, Breece Hall, and Braylon Allen. So it's kind of how I got it. I don't really have much to say about the Bills and the Patriots. It's a Mike Vrabel-led team. So
yeah, I like all of that. The Dolphins are such an up in the air, no one knows, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be kind of a weird year for them, maybe a down year. McDaniel's starting the year for sure on the hot seat. The Tyreek Hill stuff is all weird. The whole Tua throwing it within 1 second of getting the ball, to end all of last year, that kind of scares me. This just the screen game, how they changed it so much. The Dolphins were flying high when they were making those big, long passing plays down the middle of the field to Waddle and Hill, and they haven't been doing that in a long time, so I could see that. I also thought it was weird the Dolphins were just kind of shipping anybody off that had any kind of contract dispute, or Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, they were just kind of okay, get out of here. And getting Minkah back, I don't know, people think Minka's really good, but honestly, he was pretty slow last year. If you look at some of the Steelers plays, he was getting burned pretty bad, so Ramsey could really help the Steelers, and I don't know that Minka's going to make that big of a difference on the Dolphins defense. I think they're going to be kind of off, like you said. And I obviously love the Patriots too. I think their over-under win total is 8.5. So you're right on with the 8 to 9. I definitely believe in the Pats looking good. They have a YouTube series out there. I was watching a little bit of it, and I just have a lot of belief in who they've drafted and kind of what the program is they're building. So I'd agree with all that. Obviously, Bills number one.
Yeah. I would also add, too, with the Dolphins, I did my part to stay away from all Dolphins in fantasy football. Mm-hmm. So I stayed away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder what's gonna happen with all that. If McDaniels gets fired week 4, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, I actually have Quinn Ewers stashed in a couple of dynasty leagues. He's on practice squad, so I'm kind of we'll see. But
not Zach Wilson.
No.
All right. So yeah, I agree with your order though. I like Bills, then Pats, and honestly, I think Jets and Dolphins. There's been a lot of weird negative buzz with the Jets and Fields passing, all the practice tape and even what he's been playing in the preseason. He looks really fast, really good. I think they're just going to like you kind of mentioned, they're just going to run really well, and their defense is going to play well. So I think they're going to get some gritty wins. They're going to be kind of like a mini Steelers, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, moving on to AFC North then. Burrow versus Lamar, Steelers, Browns are kind of that weird one. Joe could do good for them, but also the Browns they look pretty bad. So who do you got for that division?
Yeah, so I actually have, and it's in both North, both AFC and NFC North, North. I have three teams from each making the postseason, making the playoffs. So I have actually the Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns. That's the order in which I have it.
Yep.
I just look at the Bengals, and I think I'm banking on them playing just like 10% better on defense and getting themselves some wins
Wow.
because that defense was so dang bad last year that it just cost them so many wins. And then
Yep.
also seeing that they played a lot of their starters in the preseason kind of makes me think that they're a little bit more dialed in because they've been such slow starters
Yeah.
over the years. It's been such
Horrible.
so rough out of the gate. So that's kind of what I'm banking on, which I can't believe I'm like. I guess I'm not really betting against the Ravens, but I guess I am. But
A
I
little
still
bit.
think, yeah,
I think
that's
Bengals over the Ravens is a bit of a hot take, I think.
yeah, that's a little bit tough. I just
Spicy.
I don't know. There's something about it that just that sits there with me that I feels like the right call. But I still think the Ravens and Steelers make the playoffs. So I
The
think
Aaron Rodgers led Steelers.
yeah, there's something about the Steelers. Well, before I pass over the Ravens, I think the Ravens are good top to bottom. So there's just something about Joey Burrow this year that's got me
Yeah.
picking the Bengals. But yeah, the Steelers, I really am a huge fan of really everything they've done. Admittedly, I have a little soft spot in my heart for the Steelers. When I was in seventh grade, my seventh grade teacher let me borrow his Terry Bradshaw jersey for the Super Bowl. So yeah, Ben Roethlisberger beat the Seahawks in his, I think that was his rookie year, I believe. So, but I still think the Steelers, like from an offense and defensive standpoint, they're pretty well put together. I think on the defensive side of the ball, they were able to re-sign T.J. Watt. They're still working on. I don't know. I think Cameron Hayward's going to play, but he's looking for a little bit of a pay bump this year. But adding Jalen Ramsey and adding Slay from the Super Bowl champs, Darius Slay, pairing them up in the secondary with Joey Porter Jr. and then the linebacking core with Patrick Queen there. I just think it's overall a very well put together defense, like they've always have been. They're gonna be able to get to the quarterback, and now they have really good secondary, led by some good vets. So, and then obviously on the offensive side of the ball, you got Aaron Rodgers coming in. So as long as they can keep him upright, he's going to put the ball where it's supposed to be. And I like what they did on the offense. You'll probably see them running 12 personnel with the two tight ends quite often, even some three tight end sets with that big giant Washington fella. That's kind of the take on the Steelers, Bengals, Ravens. I really think those, and I mean, if the Ravens finish first in the division, I won't be surprised either.
Yeah.
But I think those three teams are making the playoffs, and then the Browns are the Browns. I don't know what they're doing. They'll probably have another top 10 pick. So
yeah.
Also, I was gonna say too, I have the Dolphins getting a top 5 pick. Like I think they're gonna be bad.
That bad? Wow. Yeah. I mean, maybe could see it. Yeah, I like how you had that. I like the take of them. All three of those teams getting the playoffs. I think the Steelers are like kind of iffy to get in, but I could see it. And I also don't know if I could take the Bengals over the Ravens just with their defense, but if they stay healthy and score all those points, it definitely could happen. It helped that they got Hendrickson to come back, but man, it's going to be shootouts every single game, and I just don't know if that is going to get them a 1 seed, just having that many shootouts the entire season. Ravens can win on offense and defense easily. So, but yeah, I like all the takes there. Browns not really worth much talking about. Just they're like 2 rookie quarterbacks and 1 40-year-old quarterback.
What are we doing?
Kind of a wild way to go. And acquiring Pickett for, I think it was a 4th rounder, and sending him away for a 4th or 5th rounder. It's kind of weird, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of like Gabriel, though. I think that's maybe my one take I would have on there is there's like, I mean, Shedeur had his like 1 game that was pretty good, but for the most part, a lot of his preseason stuff has not impressed me. He just is making kind of boneheaded college decisions where he's running backwards, running around, and he was even talking to Myles Garrett in the sidelines like, oh, would that move work on you? And it's just like, it's laughable. Like, there's no way Myles Garrett would get beat by that move. But Gabriel looks poised and he's slinging it a bit. So I'm excited to see what comes of him if he gets a chance this year. Move on to AFC South. So we have Texans, Titans, Jags. What am I missing? Texans, Titans,
Colts.
Jags, and Colts. Yeah. Who you got there?
Yeah, so I have mine laid out here. They go in Houston, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and then Tennessee in last. And
Okay.
yeah, this one's one of those toss up, not really a toss up division, but there's part of me that wants to think the Jaguars can do it, but I just don't. They just got to do it.
Yep.
So I need to be able to see it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like three of those teams could win the division: Texans, Jaguars, Colts. I don't know if the Titans are there yet, but then also the Jaguars, Colts, and Titans could also all have top 15 picks. Like I don't know. You know,
Mhm.
I think the Texans are the safest team in that division. I'm pulling for the Jaguars. I'd love to see Travis Hunter do it up and do it big time. I think
Yep.
my biggest prediction or whatever you want to call it is I think the Colts. I mean, if the Colts finish third or fourth in division, you got to believe that they're going to have a total overhaul of the front office, like
Yeah.
head coach gone,
Yep.
Chris Ballard gone. Like you'd have to think so, because think I read or heard whatever that this is like what the seventh or eighth straight season that the Colts have had a different starting quarterback, and that's
Mhm.
we're coming off of the Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck era, and now it's been a kind of a show since then, clown show.
Yep.
So of sorts. And then Titans, it's nothing against the Titans. I think they're going to be a tough out. I think Cam Ward's going to be good. I just think they have to get better yet, I guess, a little bit. But then again, too, if Cam Ward is, Superman this year, I could see them finishing second in the division and like that whole. I just think the one constant is going to be the Texans finishing atop that
Mhm.
division.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would have the Texans winning it too. I'm a little bit more bullish on the Titans for some reason. I don't know why. I believe in Cam Ward a little bit too. I haven't been like drafting him everywhere like he's a need to have guy or anything. I just think he's gonna be solid, and I think that they can kind of game plan their way to some wins. I would not be surprised at all if they finish ahead of the Colts, maybe even the Jags. I don't know. The Jags though with Liam Cohen, I believe in them a lot too. So just we'll see how quick
Duval.
we'll see how quick the turnaround is. I don't know. I think having a great like offensive mind for Trevor Lawrence will really help if he can make things easier for him, and if Travis Hunter pans out on offense, well, like they're gonna be a tough out. Um, and yeah, obviously Texans have a really good defense. I like what they did on offense too. Like I love
Mm-hmm.
those two receivers. It was Iowa State, right? Or
Yep.
no? Yeah. Noel and Higgins are both they're two of my favorite receivers in the draft, and they got both of them. So I like that for Stroud. I think they're gonna have a really good year this year. All right, moving on to the last team in the first quarter, or last division in the first quarter is AFC West. Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. Lots of teams.
Yes. I think this one's going to be a really tough division. I think all the teams are going to be tough, including the Raiders. I think getting Pete Carroll out there and Geno Smith, and they've got some dogs down there. So, with that being said, my order is Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and I would say Chiefs, Broncos make the playoffs out of that division. And I don't know. I say it out loud. I could probably flip the Raiders and the Chargers. I don't think either team is going to be like necessarily bad. I just think it's going to be a really, really tough division.
Mm.
So, I could see, and I mean, the Chargers lost Rashawn Slater. So I think
Yeah,
that's like
that's
the big
huge.
thing.
That's
So
huge.
that definitely plays a factor in kind of like what I was thinking as far as when I was putting this together. But I think the Raiders are just going to be, I think they're going to be a gritty team. But again, I think whoever finishes in last is going to be right around 500.
Yep. Yeah,
And
really
then,
solid division.
yeah,
Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, the Broncos, I think, are just going to feed off of the momentum that they had last year. I think Evan Ingram, I traded for him in a couple of dynasty leagues. I really think he's going to have a good year. Kind of, I think they call it the Joker role with Sean
Mm-hmm.
Payton, where he'll be moved all over the place. And then I had, when I initially sent you earlier, I had the Broncos over the Chiefs. I think that's kind of a popular thing people are putting down. But I just, when I went to go write it down, I was like, I can't.
No.
The Chiefs are going to be playing pissed off. Travis Swift is going to be out there, you know, leaner and cleaner and probably his last year. So
Hmm.
I just think the Chiefs are going to be coming out with a little bit of vengeance after getting the BTA in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
um, yeah, that's kind of my take. I think that's going to be a really gritty and tough division. I think all of the teams are going to be they're all coached really well. They're going to
Hmm.
be coached really well, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, I like it. I'm surprised you have Chargers last, but like you said, you maybe would flip it.
Yeah.
I could. I don't think the Raiders are going to be very competitive this year. I think they're going to struggle for a year or two. Um, the transition to Geno, like he's a good quarterback, but it might be rough. And transition to Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, like all that stuff. There's just a lot of moving parts that it would be really hard for it to all mesh together super well right away. So I think they're going to be at the bottom. It's going to be rough. I am not as high on the Broncos. Like they're obviously a really good team, really good defense. The offense was clicking last year. I could see them kind of taking like a mini step back, like not a huge one, but like maybe they overperformed a little bit last year. Like they just looked so good. I would be surprised if they came out and looked that much better this year, but you never know. It could
Hmm.
happen. So that's kind of where I am at. I would still have the Broncos second and the Chargers, but Chiefs winning the division for me for sure.
Yeah. Now you say that about the Broncos too, because people talk about like the year two
Slump.
sophomore slump a little bit in quarterbacks, and I mean we haven't talked about the NFC East or Jaden Daniels yet, but I mean I don't know. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really see there being a slump for Jaden Daniels. We'll talk about that later, but I could definitely see a small step back. I just don't think the Broncos defense got any worse. They added
Yeah,
Dre Greenlaw.
I
They
know.
added Hufunga from San Fran, so I
Yep,
think they're working with a top five, top three defense
I agree.
already, and then they've added some players. So that's where I think they'll be all right. And then
Yep.
also adding R.J. Harvey at running back, and then also J.K. Dobbins, which I
Mm-hmm.
don't think is being talked about enough. I've been seeing him fall in some fantasy drafts. J.K. Dobbins, that
Yep.
is, and I think he's been a value late in some drafts. So
Yeah,
that's why I
it's a good
think
pick.
I think with a solid run game and an improved defense, they'll be able to maintain. So
Yep. I don't think it'll look bad. I think it'll be fine. My
still a
concern
playoff
is just
team.
it's not. Yeah, my concern is just not going to be like a big leap forward. Like they're not going to
Yeah,
like take a huge leap above what they did last year. And I think a lot of
yeah,
people are just kind of expecting that.
yeah.
But
That's
we'll
kind of
see.
why I left them at number two and
Yep.
left the Chiefs at one there.
Yep.
So that's the AFC. My playoff teams are Bills, Texans, Chiefs, Broncos, Bengals, Ravens, Steelers. Not in any particular order. Well, it was
Nice.
the order in which I read them, but it's not the order in which they will be seated.
Yep. Yeah, I like
Yep.
it. I don't have mine written down, but I think I was pretty on par with you. All right, getting into our second quarter now. We're looking at the NFC, starting with the NFC East, and I think that might excite you a little bit. Go ahead and tell us who you think's going to win the NFC East.
And not Micah Parsons, am I right?
It's not possible.
Yeah, I have the NFC East laid out. I think the same as last year would have been Eagles, Washington, Dallas, and then the New York Football Giants. That's kind of the order of operations I have it in. Um, I I don't know. It's really a confusing division because I honestly think like I'll start talking about the Giants. I think they're going to be a pesky, pesky team this year.
Hmm,
I think their defensive line is nasty. It might be
it
one of the
is.
best in the NFL, and that's going to cause a lot of problems.
It's insane.
So, with that being said, I think the Giants will take a step forward. I think Dallas is going to take a step back in a way, I guess. I don't know how many games they won last year, but I don't have them as a playoff team this year. You take Micah Parsons out of that whole thing,
There you
and
go.
yeah, I don't see that they got better. Although their offense is going to be absolutely filthy. I think the Cowboys could kind of look a little bit like the NFC's version of the Bengals. I really think
Mm-hmm.
I'm really really high on George Pickens going there. I think George Pickens, like we could look at the end of the year, is like a top 15 wide
Yep.
receiver in fantasy football. Like I think we could be talking about CD Lamb, George Pickens, kind of like Jamar Chase, T Higgins, something like that. Maybe
Yep.
not quite as, but I really think Dallas's offense is going to be absolutely nasty, and they have enough bodies in the backfield that they should be able to run okay if their offensive line is okay. I think they've got Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue. That's the 3 running backs they got going into the season. So I think there's enough there to be like competent enough to open it up for Dak. So
I can't believe they wouldn't trade a 6 for Brian Robinson with that backfield. That makes no sense to me.
Doesn't make sense at all. Yeah. Yeah, and then Washington, the only thing with Washington is they got the Terry McLaurin deal done, so like they would have taken a big hit without Terry in my eyes. So I don't know, like we were saying, the rookie wall or hitting that sophomore slump or whatever you want to call it for Jaden Daniels. I'm not necessarily sure the kid's an absolute freak, but then again, they did have some like crazy wins, not fluky, but like a couple of crazy wins. So it'll be interesting to see. That is like the oldest team in the entire league. I think when I got the new Madden, I was looking through their roster, and I think they had 22 guys over the age of 30. So we'll see if that like
they're deceptively old. Yeah,
very. Yeah, you get Deebo Samuel and Deebo Samuel and Laramie Tunsil, 2 really good players, but also now they're on the back end of their career. Health will be a thing, but yeah, I think Washington will be good. And then obviously Philadelphia. I might be biased, but yeah, I think the offense is returning with most of their starters outside of their right guard, and got the best offensive line coach in the league. So I think we'll be able to fill that spot. Offense will be fine. I do have concerns on defense. Cornerback too, like we said earlier, Slay has made his way to a different part of Pennsylvania, and he's in Pittsburgh now. So I think their secondary is going to be a little rough. And then we traded C.J. Gardner-Johnson to Houston for a bag of footballs.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Tough trades, but I think that second safety spot next to Reed Blankenship and then our CB2 is going to be a little bit sus. I think Adoree Jackson is going to be starting week 1. So back to my George Pickens point, if you have George Pickens, dial him up here on Thursday night, because I think he has a chance to really light it up. But D-line, I think it's going to be fine. We lost some starters, and then linebacker Zach Bond's back, the bald eagle, and drafted Jahai Campbell in the first round from Alabama, so I think we retooled there. So really, it's the 2 secondary spots that has me concerned with Philadelphia. But that's kind of my insider's look. And I think the NFC East, I'll say one thing about the Giants too. I think they have a decent future. Jackson Dart looks good. You got Malik Neighbors on offense. I think they're going to be kind of a tough out this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's some of the points I was gonna bring up actually. So I'll start with Commanders and Jaden Daniels. Kind of like the Broncos, I could see them taking a mini step back. I hope not. I just took Jaden Daniels 101 in a Superflex startup, so I'm really hoping that he pans out. But I don't know. Like Cliff Kingsbury year 2, there's seemingly always a fall off with him. Defensive coordinators kind of figure out what he likes to do, and I don't know. Hopefully he can adjust and adapt and be better at it this time. But maybe scheming Debo some plays will help a little bit. I think he'll get off to a hot start, but eventually they might figure them out a little bit. I think, like you said, I think the Giants will be pretty good. I don't know how far Russell Wilson can really take him, but if Dart can get in there and look good, or if like Jameis can get in there and not throw some picks, I don't know. I could honestly see the Giants like not being last in the division somehow, like maybe taking over the Cowboys or something. The Cowboys are just going to have to win a lot of shootouts, which they're fully capable of, but they need to be healthy, and Pickens needs to work out. If Pickens does not work out, then they're not going to be winning shootouts, and the Giants could beat them in the division. So, Eagles on top for me, though, too, as well. I'm not going to argue that at all. Do you see any way that the Eagles are not on top? Do you think, like, the Commanders could be good again, the Eagles could take a step back? You think that's...
Yeah. So, it hasn't happened...
They haven't repeated in a while, right?
Yeah, as division champs. Yeah, and actually, if you look at it, it went over the last 10 years or something. It was like Washington, Dallas, Philadelphia, Dallas, Washington, Philadelphia, Dallas, Philadelphia. So now we're on. It could be Washington now. Like every 7 years, it's Washington. So yeah, no, I definitely think so. The Eagles have a pretty tough schedule. Starting out Dallas.
Mm-hmm. See how that goes.
Yeah, it's a division game, right? But we got Dallas, then we have the Chiefs, then we have the Rams, and I think we play We got Green Bay on the schedule. We got the Vikings on the schedule. So there's a lot of tough games for Philadelphia this year. So they could definitely finish second in the division. But
Okay. That'd be tough.
I'm not gonna say that.
Of course. All right.
No, if they sucked, I'd be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, it'd be shocking. Moving on, NFC North. So we got Packers, Lions, Bears, and Vikings. So what's the big news in the NFC North? I don't know.
Mike and Noah guy. Yeah, so I have the division laid out, and this is kind of a conspiracy theory. So I have the division laid out with the Vikings, Packers, Lions, Bears. Like I said earlier, 3 teams make the playoffs. I think the Vikings, Packers, and Lions make the playoffs. So might be kind of crazy to hear the Lions in third. Why are they in third? I think them losing their 2 coordinators is a much bigger deal than people are making it out to be. And I look at Philadelphia's Super Bowl run in 2022. They lost both their coordinators, and they came back in 2023, and it was kind of a mess. So,
were they both promotions from within? I forget. Did they promote people on the team?
Yes.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, the Lions is still the Lions, and then they're still led by MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell. So, I still think they're a really good team, and they also lost their center too. So that was also like a big thing.
Retirement,
too. Yeah, losing him, and then I don't know. I just think there's a lot of change there. Aiden Hutchinson, how healthy is he going to be? I think he'll be fine at some point, but at what point will it be? So, and I just think the NFC North is a tough even from the Bears. Like the Bears, I have 4th, but I just don't think the Bears are better than the Lions, Packers, or Vikings. So,
agreed.
Yeah, Packers I have in 2nd place. I think they were in the playoffs last year, and now getting Micah Parsons, I think that takes them from a playoff team to a Super Bowl contender. But as you know, I've got the Vikings number 1. Yeah. And you're pretty bummed about that?
I'm not bummed about it. I'm just surprised that you'd have the Vikings winning with year 1 JJ McCarthy. Honestly. Yeah,
I think for me it's a huge believer in Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell was able to take Josh Dobbs and make him look competent. So I think I'm also a big fan of J.J. McCarthy, so you bring the 2 together. Although McCarthy isn't a rookie, it being his first year starting, I just think he's got all the tools. I think Brian Flores' defense has they added Isaiah Rodgers from the Eagles, so they get younger and a little bit stronger at cornerback too, and then just with Van Ginkel and Jonathan Grenard, they have a really nice defensive line. They added, I believe, Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave. So they're adding a lot of guys to that defensive line. Brian Flores is a pretty nice defensive mind. And then, Kevin O'Connell on the offensive side. Although they're going to start off the year, Addison's out for 3 games. I think guy like T.J. Hawkinson, and then obviously they brought Adam Thielen back. The Great White Hope. And there's something about it. And then there's also something I saw that every 7 years the Vikings make the NFC Championship game. So it was 7 years. 7 years ago, it was the meaningless miracle that got them to the NFC Championship game, which we know what happens after that. And then before that, it was the Saints, the Brett Favre interception, the Saints. Saints Vikings and down in New Orleans, the Bounty Gate or whatever it was. So, a little bit of conspiracy in
technically,
there.
none of that can happen because Jordan Love will be 27 this year, so he's destined to win a Super Bowl, just like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Both at 27. So, sorry.
I'm glad you had something there for me. So you're like, he's 27 now, so it's the time.
It's the time to win the Super Bowl.
That's fair, though. That's fair. I mean, this Micah move feels like a move to go do it.
It feels like that, and also with Golden looking good. I think if Golden is solid, that's just going to help so much because the Packers have had a bunch of decent wide receivers for a long time, which has worked well enough. But if we have one guy who's actually a little bit special, it's going to be pretty cool.
For sure.
The thing I would add about the Vikings, I actually agree with everything you said about the Vikings. I think they get Christian Darrisaw back this year as well, and they drafted the guard. I forget his name. Shoot, I had it on the tip of my tongue and I forgot it. They drafted a guard in the first round. Mm-hmm. And the acquisition of Jordan Mason also, I think, was kind of sneaky.
Yep.
I think they're going to balance their run game a lot, and they're going to run a lot, and that's going to open everything up for McCarthy. So I'm with you on all that. I, I mean, I think it is complete toss up. Packers, Lions, and Vikings. It's going to be a tough division this year. I don't really feel confident that anyone's going to for sure win it, but it's going to be 2 playoff teams, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you had notes on that as well, right? Do you have 3 of those making the playoffs or 2?
Yeah, I have 3: Vikings, Packers, and Lions
Nice.
making the playoffs. And I think the Bears. I mean, if
That
the
means
Bears
the
look
Bears
like
are going to have to lose. Yeah.
yeah, the Bears actually look like they take a step forward this year, it's going to be a pretty crazy looking division going forward because it's going to be like, is there a chance that we have all the teams over 9 wins? Is that even going to be a possibility? 4 teams.
They have to win all the out of conference games. That'd be insane.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I put a note that actually that the NFC North is like my toughest division in all of football.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I like that.
I'm putting a lot of stock into the Bears there because I think the AFC North could be that, but I think the Bears are going to be, much better than the Browns.
Yep, I agree with you. Sweet. Moving on, NFC South, we got Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Bucks. How do you got that shaken out?
Yeah, I've got it going Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans, and I put a little note next to New Orleans. They get the number 1 pick. That isn't that bold of a statement. I just think there's nothing going on there in New Orleans.
Rattler and Shuck.
Yeah, I saw they re-signed Jake Haener to the active roster too. So
I can't help but think of his pictures, his NFL pictures when we said Jake Haener. It's the only thing I think of.
But yeah, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Carolina. Otherwise, I think Carolina will. I mean, they ended on a good note last year, so I think they'll take a little step forward. And then Atlanta as well. It'll be fun to see Michael Penix, driving the car from start to finish this year. So it's Kyle Pitts' year this year. That's what they're saying. So we'll see. And then I honestly think Tampa Bay is like low key Super Bowl like contender. Like I think they're one of the toughest teams in the NFC. I think Baker Mayfield's playing great. They're super deep at wide receiver now with adding Egbuka, and then the defense has been stout under Todd Bowles since he's gotten there. So I really think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a pretty big threat.
I like it.
To the NFC.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Jalen Hurts is 1-4 against Todd Bowles in his career. I mean,
wow.
So a little bias there, but
he's got something on him.
Something.
Yeah, I like that. I think the Falcons are going to go obviously with Michael Penix. If he looked really good at the end of last year, if he can continue that, be good, not get hurt, they'll be competitive for sure. Bucks at number 1, I agree with that. Solid defense. Baker's been awesome. If Egbuka can fill in as well as they need him to, that'll be great. They need some people to get healthy though. I think if it takes Godwin longer to get back, and if McMillan's not going to be back for a while, then Mike Evans needs to stay healthy. If he gets hurt, then it's going to be like. I worry about injuries with them, but they are very talented. So
that's true. The only thing I would have said about Ted is I don't know if he loves ball.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of the questions they talked about in the pre-draft process and stuff. There's a lot of stuff where I was just like,
I was a little down on him in the draft, and I have definitely risen on him quite a bit.
Yeah,
from what I've
definitely
seen.
A freak. Like athletically, I have nothing, but he said some stuff in some interviews where I was just like, does that guy love ball? Like when he gets hit in the mouth and it's week 15, like is he going to be trying to play ball or is he going to be not? So I think he's a freak athlete, but yeah.
Yep. Cool. Any playoff teams in there? Is that be Bucks? You said Super Bowl contender. Falcons make
Bucks. No, but I would say if there isn't 3 teams, I would say if like only one team comes from the NFC East, like let's say if Philly makes it and Washington doesn't, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh God. I would definitely say Atlanta could be like going into that last week of the year. They could be sitting there at 8 or 9, looking to try and get that 7th spot.
Nice. Cool. That'll wrap up the South. Let's move on to NFC West. 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. Oof.
Yes. You're not a fan of this division?
Not the Cardinals, I guess.
Yeah. I have it goes Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals. That's the order in which I have that. I might be putting a lot of stock into Matthew Stafford's back, but I think if he's able to play for a lot of the year, I think the Rams, again, could be one of those teams that are challenging, could be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl because they are that good. Last year, they're one Jalen Carter play away from basically putting the Eagles, away in that game, pretty damn close in the snow. So, and then San Fran, I just don't see how they're going to be as bad. I think they finished 4th last year in the division. I just don't see them being that bad. I think
they just lost they lost so many guys is the only thing.
Last year or this year?
This year.
Like the offseason. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of change. I don't know. I think with McCaffrey and Kyle Shanahan and Kittle and like Pearsall, and I think there's enough there, but I could be very wrong on that. There's something, maybe I'm giving Shanahan too much credit or respect that I'm like, I just don't think they can finish back to back. It was just 2 or 3 years ago that they're, in the Super Bowl, and it was like had no quarterback, playing in the NFC Championship game, and I just didn't think they were this close to completely falling off.
Yep.
And then Seattle, I think this might be a little bit more of an indictment on San Francisco being good. I think Seattle will be fine. I just don't know like how good. We'll see if Sam Darnold is going to play like Jets Sam Darnold or if he's going to play like Vikings Sam Darnold. So I'll be very curious. I think Seattle has fun offense though, as far as running backs go with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, and then JSN. I think it's finally his year to really be that guy. Yeah. And then
I like Torrey Horton too. I think he's solid.
Yeah,
he was a good pickup.
Mm-hmm. And then Arizona last. I don't know. There's just something about it. If Arizona finishes last 2, head coach fired, so on and so forth. So I don't know. There's just something about Arizona that
I'm so bummed that Marvin Harrison went to the team with Kyler Murray. That just bums me out so much.
Yeah,
it's just not working. Like I think he's still a talented wide receiver that could do well this year, but it's just the worst pairing for him.
Yeah.
Kyler cannot throw over the middle at all.
Yeah. I could see Arizona having one of those top 5 picks and potentially getting one of these quarterbacks.
Yep.
So that's my layout of that. I think your point is fair about San Fran. Like if they fell to number 3 or 4, Seattle could be much better than I'm giving them credit for as well. I don't think they're going to be bad. I just think San Fran's going to be a little better, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think at some point this year, Stafford's back or whatever might come into play. So I think when he's healthy, the Rams will be good. But I think I could see the 49ers barely winning the division with the Rams just behind them. That's kind of how I see it shaking out.
Sure.
But like low win total winning the division.
You got Seattle 3 and Arizona 4 though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, see if the Stafford's back stuff is bad, I could see the Seahawks beating the Rams, but I think the Niners will take the division with like a low win total. Is my prediction.
Yeah.
And speaking of quarterbacks that the Cardinals might want to go after, right at the end of the second quarter here, we're going to jump into our middle 8. So for those of you who are familiar or not, the middle 8 is the last 4 of the first half and the first 4 of the second half. So it kind of transitions us from our second to our third quarter. So we're going to take a little break from NFL and talk about college football. Week 1 just happened. We can jump into some of these games. I want to jump into LSU right away, as long as we're talking about quarterbacks the Cardinals might want. I thought Garrett Nussmeier looked just amazing. Like watching the slate of college games, I just thought he looked like the best quarterback, and he looked good last year too, obviously. So I think he's definitely one of the guys. But what do you think about LSU beating Clemson?
Yeah, I'll preface with my college ball knowing and stuff. This is definitely my first year where I've like sat down and watched college football for week 1 and like really got into it and like followed along. I got the college football game this summer, so I think playing a little bit of video games has got me into college football a little bit more. So I was just excited, kind of approaching this as like a new college football fan, because I kind of feel new. Like I used to like watch, the Badgers back in the day, the Russell Wilson led T.J. Watt, J.J. Watt, but this is all like new to me. So it was cool to turn it on and just see. And then Nussmeier being the son of Garrett Nussmeier, I think, head coach. He's a coach in New Orleans. I know he was in the Philadelphia organization. So seeing the last name, being familiar, he comes from a coach's family. He's a coach's kid. So, it doesn't surprise me, but it was impressive to see like handling,
Yep.
the pressure on the road and stuff like that.
Yep.
I was impressed with, and I really enjoy watching stout defenses. We'll probably talk about South Carolina here in a little bit, but that was what I thought was the most impressive. I know you're talking about Nussmeier slinging it around, but I thought the defenses were
Yep.
really fun to watch too.
Yep. Yeah, lots of good defenses.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Texas. I don't think Texas scored many points. Was it like 3 or 7? It was a very low scoring game. So Ohio State defense looked really good.
Yeah, it was 14-7 was the final score, and that one was like, it's kind of weird to me, or it's interesting to me that those games are played at noon. Like those look like the ones that should be under the lights, like the big games. But yeah, that was an interesting one. Again, the defenses kind of showed out, but I feel like that's something we learned this weekend. With the first wave of college football was that the defenses kind of had the advantage to start off. It seemed like so. Arch didn't look comfortable at all.
Yep.
Ohio State. Do you know who's the defensive coordinator at Ohio State? He came
Patricia.
from Patricia. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. So you got a professional NFL guy coming to college ranks, and like some of the stuff that I was like reading, I was kind of looking. I won't say I was watching tape. I would never claim that I watched tape, but I was listening to people talk that had watched tape, and they're talking about how Patricia was like throwing up, cover zero and then breaking off to a different defense. And they've got a lot of guys. They've got guys like Caleb Downs on that side of the ball that are very, very smart ball players. So like being able to do that. And I was listening to as Bruce Arians today. He was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about how these college kids have never called a play or never, like, it's all looking at a card on the sideline, and the snap count is just clapping like this, and like they're not used to reading defenses after the snap. So all that to be said, like I think we should probably chill a little bit on Arch Manning. Give him his first start. It's on the road to Ohio State, but give Ohio State credit. I thought their defense played absolutely nasty. So as I said about the LSU game, like, defense really came and showed up.
Yep. Yeah, that was definitely a lot to ask of Arch. I mean, for his first first game of the year. Miami took care of Notre Dame pretty good. That was a little bit surprising to some, but Miami looks pretty good this year.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't believe Carson Beck could make the transition down there to Miami. So
looks solid.
Yeah, I would say too, since this is our, the middle eight is this little segment that we're calling, I would give my middle eight award goes to Miami. They went down and scored a touchdown at the end of the first half on that insane catch. What was that? I wrote his name down. C.J. Daniels, right? Yep. One-handed catch. I think Notre Dame's DB thought he might have had like himself a 100-yard interception for a touchdown, but instead we got
nice catch. Yeah.
Instead we get the catch of the year potentially in week one. They score a touchdown, and then they get the ball back at half and go right down and score another touchdown. And before Notre Dame knew what was going on, it was 21-7. So it happened so fast. I will say though that quarterback for Notre Dame, C.J. Carr, looks pretty good too. He isn't your he has no relation to Derek or David, and you could tell. You could tell. But
nice.
If you haven't seen it, he has. Did you see his first touchdown? His first touchdown was really cool. It was like a no look or whatever. And I texted one buddy, and I was like, "Oh, if Patrick Mahomes threw this touchdown on Friday night, the internet would lose their mind."
Chris Collinsworth would have a heart attack.
Oh yeah, but it was a really good touchdown. He's looking one way and just completely goes the other way with it, throws the DB. But it was an entertaining game, that's for sure.
Yep. We got just a couple more games to talk about. FSU took down Alabama. That was a big upset. Unranked FSU. Alabama, I think, was ranked like 7 or something like that. They were top 10. So
I didn't get to watch that one.
I didn't watch it either. I saw highlights, and it looked like FSU had a bad year last year, so it looks like they improved a lot of things, and just that they came out hot this season is good for them. Happy for them. And Alabama not the same after Nick Saban leaves. I did see a stat about like, what was it? Alabama when they're like 2 touchdown favorites. Nick Saban's like 150 and like 3 or something like that, and their new coach is like 4-4.
Yeah. Wow. I heard. I was seeing some stuff like, again, people that just kind of watch and do the analyzing of the game, and I saw some highlights that it looked like there's a lot of Alabama players that are being accused of not playing really hard for them. So that's kind of coming into question, is like the effort level.
Sure.
So thought that was kind of interesting. If you don't have the control of the locker room as a head coach, or control of the guys, or
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know anything about coaching, but if your guys don't play hard for you, then it's going to be tough to coach them. So
Yep. Yep. And then the last one to talk about, you mentioned earlier, is South Carolina. They looked so good. They have freaks on their team. I mean,
yeah.
Nick Harbor and Lenora Sellers. Lenora
Oh
Sellers, I mean, might not be a hot take, but I think he might be the first pick in the draft just because of, I
yeah.
mean, he's extremely athletic and he looks like a solid quarterback. So if you combine those two things, it's going to be hard to pass on him in the draft, all those teams.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think I heard so much about their defense, and like that's when got college football. I went and looked, and they got a lot of good players, and I was like, and I've heard Sellers' name get brought up and stuff, and being new to the college football, I was just excited to see what the talk was all about, and I was definitely impressed with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the way he broke that sack and broke to the outside running, like the way he runs, he just looks like a freak. It's insane.
Yeah.
So athletic.
Mm-hmm.
He's had some injury concerns though, so hopefully he can stay healthy this year.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. I think that's it for our middle eight. That's all we're going to talk about with college football today. We're going to move right back in to NFL and get into our third quarter. So we have a couple of matchups coming up. So right now we're recording this on Tuesday night, and NFL starts Thursday night. Thursday night we have Cowboys Eagles, and then Friday we have Chargers Chiefs in Brazil. But let's start with Cowboys Eagles. What are you thinking about this game? I know we had a little bit of thoughts on it earlier, but
Yeah, I might have said a lot of what I'll probably say again. Just the stuff that I'll be paying attention to is George Pickens versus the Eagles. Wide receiver or cornerback two. We'll have Cooper DeJean lined up in the slot. So I'll just be curious to see how that whole plays out. And then overall, it's just going to be a little bit of a party, just getting the season started, and the banners dropping and doing it in front of Jerry Jones is pretty hilarious. Not having Micah Parsons there is really awesome. I was kind of bummed that he didn't get traded to the AFC, but I'll take Green Bay over the division. I think the offense. Eagles have a new offensive coordinator, but we hired from within. So Kevin Patullo has been with the Eagles and kind of on the offensive side for the last 3 years, I think it was 2 or 3 years, something like that, maybe 4. I think I don't know. I expect the offense to be fine. You got Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley.
Oh yeah, Saquon Barkley. Yeah.
Oh right, #1 player in the NFL, just voted.
Yeah.
Thanks, Giants. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Cowboys. I expect the Cowboys. If the Eagles come out and we're able to get pressure and stop the run, and we're hitting Dak quite a bit, then I think we'll be fine. Because the best to hide a bad secondary is to have a good front line. So if we can get to Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, if we can get to Dak Prescott, disrupt him, I think we'll be good. But again, it is the NFC East, and like I said, the second corner is just my biggest worry for the Eagles. So
you said DeJean will be playing slot, so he'll get CD a lot, huh?
Yeah.
You feel good about that?
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, he made some pretty big plays last year out of the slot. I have been seeing, though, he's been doing a little bit too many commercials, so
never good.
But so it should be interesting. I'll be curious to see if that cornerback 2 plan completely fails. If Adoree Jackson will get pulled, I don't think Keely Ringo will see the field, or Jacorian Bennett, I'm not sure, or if Cooper DeJean gets slid out to cornerback 2. So I'll just be curious. Maybe Quinyon Mitchell covers George Pickens the entire game, and then Cooper DeJean takes on the slot, which will be CeeDee Lamb, and then wide receiver 3 is covered by our cornerback 2. So I don't know. I'm not really sure, but game's in 2 days. Find out.
Do you already know what the spread is for the game?
I don't.
What would you guess?
Let's see. If I had to pick a score for the game, this will give you a tell. I think the final score is going to be 23-13. Philly.
Okay, you should bet on the game.
I should.
Spread's 7.5 right now.
There you go. There you go. I wanted to say 31, but it's week 1. You can't expect to score 30 points in week 1. I mean, maybe
You might.
I mean,
did you watch the Super Bowl?
that was after we're all lubed up though. We're already oiled up and ready to go.
Yeah, but man, the Chiefs have a way better defense than the Cowboys without Micah Parsons.
Eagles are going to go out there and it's going to be freaking 6-0 at the end of the first half. The team's going to get booed going into halftime.
There you go. I could see it. That'd be funny.
So that's Thursday night breakdown from my part. Do you see anything different or thoughts different or?
Not really. I mean, I could see like a slow start to the year for people, but I still don't see the Eagles like winning by anything less than 10 points. We'll see though. I mean, crazy things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's week 1, so anything could happen. You could have a couple of quick touchdowns. Dak to Pickens could look really good. They could get a couple touchdowns. The Eagles could fall behind and not be able to lean on their run game. So
yeah,
I don't ever know. I mean, the passing game's okay too. So
yeah,
I think they'll be fine.
Part of me hopes that this year's one of those years where Jalen Hurts like lets people know that he can throw the ball.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Little, I mean, 2022 when we made it to the Super Bowl, it was Jalen Hurts slinging the pill all over the yard, and then it's Saquon go to Barkley, and people tend to forget that he can do it. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
No worries. All right, so that's Thursday. Moving into Friday, we got Chargers Chiefs in Brazil. So we all know last year the shit show of the Brazil game. Hopefully they fixed the field. They had 360 some odd days to do it. So hopefully no injuries to quarterbacks and people sliding all over the place. No injuries. What do you think this game's going to go?
I think the Chiefs will come out pretty strong. I think, like I was saying earlier, I think they're pretty pissed off and they're ready to play some ball. I'll be curious to see how the Chargers come out and how the Chargers kind of look without Rashawn Slater at tackle, and then just like Omarion Hampton back there, and just like kind of the Keenan Allen's back out, and I'm just curious to see what year 2 under a Harbaugh looks like again. I know they're going to be a tough nose team. They're going to play a very physical brand of football, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think I expect the Chiefs to win, but I don't expect it to be like a super high scoring game again. I expect it to be around the same 23-20. I think it'll be a little bit closer, but yeah, I don't really I honestly don't really know. Like, I know I had the Chargers last in the division, but like, I'll be very curious. I think the Chiefs are just going to come out with a little extra juice, I think
so.
Yeah, but will it be bad or good?
Well, so that's what I was going to say is historically the Super Bowl losers have come out pretty slow. And what would you guess the spread is for this game?
Well, I would say 43. Or no.
Spread between the teams.
Yeah. I was thinking the point total. I would say 4.5.
Yeah, you were close in both those. The point total is 45.5, and the spread is 3. So Kansas City is a field goal favorite.
Yeah, well, I have them 23-20.
Yep. I mean, I could actually see the Chargers winning this game. It could be a weird one that kind of throws the division for a loop. Obviously, I think the Chiefs will be fine in the long run and get it sorted out, but I could see the Chargers picking up a win week 1. I think Harbaugh's guys always come out ready, and the whole like Super Bowl loser thing's got me thinking the Chiefs might not be coming out as hot, especially with Rice not being there, and they're going to work in Hollywood Brown. I don't know. I think they might try to do those deep shots to Worthy again. They might not work right away. So I could see the Chiefs struggling a little bit week 1. I don't think they will season long, but I could see the Chargers making a little push week 1.
Something to note too, this is technically the Chargers home game, so keep that in mind.
Lots of Chargers fans will be there, I'm sure.
Well, conspiracy theory is the Chiefs get to keep a home game.
Yeah.
Sons of guns.
I wonder how many Chiefs fans there will be in Brazil because of the whole Taylor Swift thing. I wonder if international superstar, if like they're all going to be Chiefs fans there. Well, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
Anything else in that game for you?
Oh, will Taylor Swift be in attendance?
I doubt it. In Brazil? Well, I guess if anybody could get there, it'd be her. But
Probably. That's funny. I bet Travis Kelce goes for 100 yards. I'm calling it. Fresh off.
Ooh, maybe.
He
No rice.
Yep. He ended up getting one ring this year. That's it.
He hasn't got it yet. I don't think most men don't do engagement rings.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Cool. Well, that will do it for the third quarter then. We were just going to preview those couple of first games of the NFL season. Moving into the fourth quarter, I'm not sure exactly what things you wanted to talk about first. I think you had a couple items that you wanted to bring.
All I was going to really talk about was some fantasy football.
Sure.
Well, we've kind of talked a lot about fantasy football. But then basically just the rundown on the schedule is the only other thing.
Sure, let's do it.
The only other thing that I was going to go through, because we talked about Dallas, Philly, and then
Chargers. I can start going through the noon games.
Yeah.
So I'll go through all the noon and 3 o'clock games, and then we can maybe talk about quad box, then we can get into the primetime games.
Sounds good.
All right, so we got Dolphins versus Colts. Ugh, sounds like a stinker. Steelers, Jets. What?
I would say that's at Indy.
Yep.
For what it's worth, right?
Yep, at Indy.
At Indy, yep.
Yep, and then Steelers at Jets, Panthers at Jags, Cardinals at Saints, Giants at Commanders, Buccaneers at Falcons, Bengals at Browns, Raiders at Patriots. And then we get into 3 o'clock, 49ers at Seahawks, Titans at Broncos, Lions at Packers, Texans at Rams, and that's it.
Boom. So we're going to do a little segment, just our quad boxes for the week. Yep. And although if you watch YouTube TV or if you're aware of quad box, you can have 4 games on at once. This isn't going to make total sense because we're going to pick just the 4 games of the week, not prime time. We're talking the Sunday games. So I'm going to probably have some 3 o'clock games in with noon games. So
yep. Agreed.
Always have NFL Red Zone in a quad box, but we're not going to count that here. So games that I have for my quad box would be this week: Pittsburgh at the New York Jets. Rodgers returning to the Jets, the Meadowlands, whatever, New Jersey. And then Tampa Bay at Atlanta. That one's just intriguing. 2 teams that have at the top of their division. Carolina at Jacksonville. I'm intrigued by Jacksonville. Admittedly, my cousin, shout out Jay, is a Jags fan, so I've kind of always had an interest in them. Detroit at Green Bay. Will Micah Parsons play? Allegedly, he probably will. So, and then, just Lions at Green Bay to start the season. Let's go.
Yeah, that sounds like the best game of this league.
3 games at the noon, 1 game at 3:30 that have my interest. What about you?
Yeah, my quad box will obviously contain Lions Packers as a Packer fan. That might get full screen attention sometimes. So we'll go there. I like your Steelers Jets pick as well. I'll go there. And Buccaneers Falcons, those all sound great to me. I'll pick a different 4th one, though. I'm going to go Texans Rams. I think that'll be a fun one in Los Angeles. See how Stafford's back is. See if the Texans look good this year, if they come out flat. The defense looks good. How those rookie receivers look. Just a lot of exciting stuff in my mind. See how the running backs do with no Joe Mixon. See if Nick Chubb still looks super old, as reports have said. So I'm excited to see how that game plays out.
That's a good one. I like looking at the after 3 p.m. games. San Fran at Seattle, Tennessee at Denver, Detroit at Green Bay, and Houston at Los Angeles Rams. That's going to be fun.
That's a good slate. Afternoon.
Yep. Honorable mention. I don't know if anybody can. I'll say I'm interested to see what this Indy Miami looks like. I think they're both going to look pretty bad.
Yeah. You want to watch it because of how bad it is? It's a train wreck.
Okay.
Cool. And then the 2 primetime Sunday is Ravens and Bills. That's going to be awesome. And Vikings Bears. That's a great one slate of games. Hopefully it's Bears at home, so maybe be a little bit more competitive, I hope.
Yeah. I think that Baltimore at Buffalo, that feels like that kind of feels like Texas
at
Ohio
battle.
Yeah, Texas at Ohio State to start the college season. Like, it's kind of one of those those games where it's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tune in for that. I mean, Sunday night, like you said, MVP battle. Yeah, I mean, that's just good football. That's turn the TV on at 7 o'clock and don't blink until 10.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, yeah, Monday Night Football. I mean, just to look at the new look Bears on prime time, does Caleb Williams actually look a little better? And then,
Yep.
how does J.J. McCarthy get his first start on the road at Chicago? So
yeah, I'm excited to see J.J. actually play for a while. And then also on the Bears end too, we didn't talk about it, but Caleb Williams obviously got shit on a lot this preseason and the camp videos and like some of his preseason stuff, but the last preseason game looked pretty good. A lot of people were freaking out about how good it looked, so I don't want to overreact or underreact to anything, but I'm kind of a believer in Caleb Williams being able to make it work. His biggest complaint obviously from people was that he couldn't play in rhythm. He's obviously just like an extender, and I think Ben Johnson's really harping on trying to get him to play in rhythm. And that preseason game that he played well, everything was pretty easy. Honestly, he was against like second stringers and he was just hitting guys like in rhythm, but it looked good. So if they can figure that out, I'm excited to see how this year goes for him.
yeah, absolutely. I'm just curious because like they have on paper just as many weapons as any other team in the NFC. Like on offense, like from DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, the two tight ends, and then even at running back with having DeAndre Swift. Who's their second? Do they have another?
Yeah, Roshan Johnson, and they signed Kyle Monangai. They drafted him.
Yeah. They've got names over there. So, I mean, is it going to turn out to be like a bunch of meh players, or is it going to be like, wow, this is one of the more talented teams in the league? So,
yeah, I agree. I think Burden's being slept on a bit. I think he's talented. I think if he gets to be like a power slot for them, he could be pretty good.
For sure. Yeah.
Although I heard DJ Moore might play the slot quite a bit.
I also saw he was taking running back reps, so
interesting.
Who knows?
Just moving around everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I would really what I would say to end the show, I don't know if this will be how it ended every single week or whatever, but something I wrote down that I wanted to write down kind of for myself because I needed the advice last year that I should have taken. Fantasy football advice, but also football in general. Relax, it's just week one. I know we're excited and we're back to football, but don't make any instant reactions. Don't do anything crazy off of week one of play, and that goes for fantasy football. If somebody doesn't perform, don't be like, they suck. Throw them out because we don't know anything. We have no clue about anything yet.
Yeah, don't go dropping Bucky Irving.
Yeah, last year I had drafted Christian McCaffrey. Bucky Irving wasn't anything. I picked him up in free agency, and he didn't do anything like the first couple of weeks, so I cut him and, didn't make the playoffs. Go figure. So, don't do that. Don't overreact on your football team. You got to remember last year the Saints were the hottest offense in the league through the first 2 weeks of the year. I don't know. I just think about some of the other storylines. The Eagles started off 2-2. They looked mediocre the first 4 weeks of the year. Went down to Tampa Bay and got slapped around. Just there's so many things that happened early in the season that just cool it. And I was thinking too, we didn't in the college segment we didn't talk about the Bill Belichick led NC. Let's cool it on Arch Manning, cool it on all these guys. Let's just cool it, okay? Let's give them some time. It's a long, 5 months or whatever we got here, 3-4 months of football. So that's the advice.
No, I like the advice, and to add to it, just thinking back to last year, I was listening back to some of the podcasts we were trying to do at the beginning of the year last year, and before week one, Anthony Richardson went 7th overall in our dynasty startup, and we were freaking out about the throw he had week one where defender was in his face getting hit. He threw it 65 yards to Alec Pierce. I mean, obviously it looked beautiful, but then we look at the stats. We were talking about it still then. He had 9 completions in the entire game. So there's a lot of stuff that you can overreact and underreact about, but it's just crazy. Like in hindsight, I mean, don't take things too seriously. It's week one, just like you said.
Yep. Take a breath. You still got time in your fantasy league. You could start out 1-4, 2-5, and still, go on a run and do stuff. So Don't overreact.
Don't freak out. Just have fun. Football's back. We're excited.
Football's back.
We're so excited. Everybody enjoy week 1. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.